Hi Capricorn. Okay, I'm just gonna be a bum today because I don't know. It's Saturday. It's Saturday and it's freezing in New York, so I guess that gives us an excuse. It's really cold here today and like very, very, very windy. I was just like, yo, I'm doing this in my sweats. It's cool. Capricorns don't mind. They're so easygoing. So, looking for love in all the wrong places. We've done that for a while. Feeling a bit disheartened, and all of a sudden you start to feel better. Okay. Oh, I was feeling very disappointed, and now I'm feeling kind of better. What's going on? Well, I don't know. I mean, you guys get the hint pretty fast, right? Like, if something's not working, like, if someone, like, I mean, you'll give someone attention, but if they give you the impression that, like, really you're just bothering them or wasting their time, I mean, you'll see yourself out of the situation, right? So you don't linger. What I'm trying to say is you don't linger in situations that are bad for you. I mean, there is that like really risk averse Capricorn that can get stuck in their own cycle of fear and not move forward. But that can be really related to addiction. Like that's usually how that pans out is addiction. But if you're not addicted, right? If you're not in that place where you're like heavily self-medicating, then regardless of what's going on, no matter how much you like that person or that job or that thing that you really wanted, if something doesn't work out, you guys are resilient. Like we've talked about this before, where you can just, I've given you the example of my brother where he's like, no, then you just move on. Sorry, the light is moving a little, so let me, okay, do that, good. So it is a time of moving on. It is reminiscent of December for you guys, like the way you were feeling around your birthday month. Just like, yeah, I got it, I can move. That starts to come back. And I know in between has been kind of crazy because you've had these opportunities where you really felt like you found love, and then like for some reason it was like I feel what I get is like it slipped out of my hands. I had it and it just I lost it. And yeah, sure, that lingered for a little while, but I think you're over that. I think you've moved past it. I think that March gives you enough fuel to move past it. So that's good. But also, I feel like you have a real fiery energy right now, just in general. I feel like you guys are, when bad things happen to Capricorns, not even bad things, but disappointments and letdowns, you really are the sign that can cook it back and turn it into something really great and come back even better. Like in the I Ching, it says that, success in any field is wonderful. However, it cannot compare to how impressive a comeback is. Comebacks in any field are spectacular because the first time you do something, there is always the tendency to think or the reality that it may have just been luck, right? Or right, a bunch of circumstances came together a certain way and you got lucky and that's why boom, 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 right? But a comeback denotes that you put something extraordinary into whatever you were doing that got you those results again like you used to get before. So you disprove the notion that it was luck the first time because you've duplicated your results, right? So that's a lot like the scientific method. Something cannot be considered a workable theory if it cannot be duplicated by different scientists all over the world, right? That's the mark of if something is legitimate, is if one scientist figures something out and then that experiment can be replicated by other people who have nothing to do with him. So comebacks are a sign of being able to replicate greatness. And you guys will feel, not that you ever fell off, not that you are experiencing a comeback because you ever fell off, but I think internally, emotionally, you did. No one else noticed, but emotionally, I think you guys have been pretty rocky the past couple of months, which is, it's just uncommon for a Capricorn. It's uncommon for you guys to have been feeling this way. And I think it has everything to do with, you know, I was just doing the Aries reading, and I was talking about how the orbit of certain things can be very large, right? So it can take a really long time for certain things to come back around. And there is something here that has been waiting to come back around. And like I said, you guys have handled it really well in the meantime, but there has been this feeling of something missing. You know, Capricorns are the sign, for example, like if I speak to someone and they say, well, I'm seeing a Capricorn who's married, you know, do you think he'll leave his wife? No. This is everything to Capricorns. They can be as passionate as they want outside of their main relationships. They can make you believe that they'll do anything for you and that their physical passion is the only thing they care about or is of, you know, utmost importance to them. But it's absolutely not true. They are much, much more in need of this than they are of any sort of temporal passion. So you have been missing that Ten of Pentacles energy. That is the kind of happiness that an earth sign wants, and you have been missing it. And now you feel this kind of dominant, fiery energy, or you are dealing still, Capricorn, come on, man. It's been a really long time now with this dominant fire sign energy that I told you months and months and months ago was not going to let you go. You guys are very good at drawing boundaries, and then at other times you really suck and it gets you in trouble with your partners, especially if you're a straight man. Because I find that Capricorn women are very good at setting boundaries, actually, but can also exhibit the same sort of carelessness that Capricorn men can when it comes to being flirty and when it comes to kind of making their partners feel insecure. I feel like sometimes Capricorns don't even realize they're doing it, but they will be nicer to the person they're not in a relationship with than they are to the person they're with, and it can be really disconcerting and it can be very hurtful for the person who has to deal with you. And there is that thing here, like if you grew up in a situation where your older male, you know, this card has come up a lot in this month's readings, and I feel like the dad influence has been really, really strong, or will be really strong in March. I feel like everyone is dealing in different ways with their paternal issues, their paternal dynamic, whatever that is, right? And here, the King of Wands for me is always, that's how it comes up for me, is that it has to do with the dad. But here, what I feel is that it is that you have to examine that first relationship that you had with a man in your life. Whether you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. This was your first relationship with a male. Whether that relationship, and not just that relationship was your first relationship with a male, but the nature of that relationship became the blueprint for the nature of the relationships you would have with that gender. So there is a feeling here of needing to look at that and see within yourself how do you exhibit those qualities? What did you pick up from your parents? What did you pick up from your male authority figure? How do you implement that in your life now? Because I think the reason it's coming up here, and I think what you'll find is that you're much more romantic than you let on, and it's really sucked to not be able to be as passionate as you wanted to be for whatever reason. And now you get a shot at it. I mean, you can take that shot in a lot of different ways, but you will get the opportunity now to perhaps salt some of those wounds and begin to move forward. You know, you've had the disappointments, you've had the setbacks, you've had the rejection, you've had the feeling bad because you know you've hurt people. It's like kind of run the gamut with you guys. You've been on both ends of the spectrum. Some of you have been really hurting people and deceiving them. Others of you have been really hurt and deceived. But throughout it runs this common thread of not wanting to face the loneliness of it. Do I fit in my life? Am I just some lonely day player in my own life? Does this make sense? You know, isn't this what I wanted? Why am I kind of pretending like I don't want this? Like I'm just gonna like pretend and live as if I didn't want that. But I like really did. And now March is like all those things that you're kind of pretending that you don't want anymore, like you do want them and they're coming back. So Capricorn, if you're dealing with a fire sign or a water sign, both those signs are showing up here, and the water sign's showing up in a really friendly way. So someone who has a lot of water in their chart is going to be very open with you about how they feel, but also it'll just be obvious to you from their demeanor and the way they behave around you that they really, really like you. They really like you. They do. They really like you. And that's what I mean is like, you know, when you salt your wounds and you make room for something new, Pisceans are getting really good at this. The Pisceans that follow me are like really learning how to do this well. When you allow yourself the space to be hopeful, when you allow yourself, despite what has happened, to be hopeful, what you open the door for is faith. The faith that all the stuff you do right is being noticed, is being counted, is being noted. And it's time for, like I said, that orbit, it's time for that to come back around to you, all that you've put out there. And sure, some of you have not been all that nice, but you have still added quite some value into the world because that is your nature. That's what you do, is add value to the world. So, of course, that value must be repaid. You know, that is a blameless process. Whoever puts value into the world will get it back. You really got some good cards. I think you're gonna be surprised, considering how disappointed you were in what you had to let go. I think you'll be really surprised at how great what's coming in is going to be. Because the reality, Capricorn, of what you had to let go or what you've been slowly working out of your system for the past 2 months is not something that would have been good for you. I know on the surface, and in many, many ways, it seemed like this was just perfect. But it wasn't. That situation would have been extremely painful for you because you were mismatched. And here, you know, we're talking about fraternal twins. This is the Gemini card. So also, Capricorn, if you're dealing with a Gemini, platonically or romantically, they're also showing up here. Now, in another respect, just in terms of your luck and your, the general trends of your March, this is a set of fraternal twins, right? This is the Gemini card. So that other thing, other person, other situation that you've had to extricate yourself from and let go of, that situation would have been a lot of hard work just to get off the ground, just to make every day work, right? This, on the other hand, is someone that is so close to you that they could be a part of you. And that's what the Lover's card implies. It's someone who is you. It's a much better deal. It's a much better opportunity. And I know that you guys understand opportunity, and you will feel the tug of this opportunity. And March is about not running from it. Of course you want to run from it. You've had some pretty disappointing months in terms of romance. It hasn't been easy. And so it's like, oh, really? You want me to like take a risk again and make a fool out of myself? Yeah, kind of, because this time it looks like it's going to work out. So I would go for it if I were you. If you end up this March in a situation where you get another crack at having like an exciting love life where you didn't think that that was possible because that ideal person that you really wanted isn't into you, or that if you thought that you couldn't be happy in a job because that ideal situation that you wanted or that ideal home you wanted to buy is off the market, this is that time where you will sense that not only is there a better opportunity out there, but that you got really lucky for not receiving. You will feel like you dodged a bullet. And it will give you enthusiasm, and it will give you energy to move into the rest of 2017 really feeling really giving to those who give back, really feeling for those who feel for you, stopping the general Capricorn thread of being spread too thin, concentrating your energy on those who really deserve it and those who are worthy but also reciprocating. It's a stern time in some ways because you want better things, and so you will find yourself like being a little harsh with some people. The King of Wands is also a card of being harsh. And you still have that lingering thing of like, I really don't want it to end. You know, whatever that thing was that you had to let go of, you will struggle with that a little bit towards the beginning of the month, but by the end of the month, by the time the month closes, your mind will be in a completely different place. We're just shuffling for an outcome card, and I'll show you these cards. You will feel the expansion, and you will feel the new opportunities coming in, and you may translate that into, man, I need to spiff things up. I need to, do the work. I need to paint the wall. I need to put the paper up. I need to, I need to do some stuff here. I need to do the work of moving or changing or new people to hang out with or new decor or new, I just need to do something because like I'm not like, I want more than this. I want more than this. I'm tired of being apologetic and kind of like pretending that this is enough for me. And I'm tired of being disappointed and feeling like that situation that ended should have worked out. Like, I just want more than all of this. I'm sick of all of this, and I'm sick of myself. It reminds me of What About Bob, that amazing movie. So a healthier version of you from the King of Wands. But also, if you're a Capricorn and you're dealing with an earth sign, they're here yet again. But in What About Bob, Bill Murray is given the advice. Bill Murray is portrayed as a person who is really bottom of the deck. Awesome. Bill Murray is portrayed as someone who's really just imprisoned by his neuroses. and his fears. And when he follows his psychiatrist on vacation because he misunderstands the talk they've had, the psychiatrist, in a moment of kind of panic but sheer genius, says to him, okay, well, you're already here, so we have to figure out what to do with you. You know, what I want you to do is I want you to take a vacation from your problems. Like, he's writing him out a prescription, and Bill Murray says, come on, doc, don't give me pills. I already have pills. And he says, no, it's not pills. And he gives him this piece of paper. And it's a prescription, you know, sheet. It's just like a script, but instead of like having medicine on it, it says, take a vacation from your problems. And Bill Murray in the film really takes that to heart and starts to exhibit a very authentic, fearless self, because he quite literally just forgets about his old persona. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic film. I know every word to it. I've been watching it since I was a kid. In a lot of ways, I feel like it led me into what I do now, because it's fantastic. It's very smart on many levels and seriously funny. But the reason I tell you took that little aside is because I feel like Capricorns can naturally suffer from a sense of OCD, but also you can be really fenced in by your own perception of things, and your perception of things can be colored by your problems because you're human. There's no judgment. But if you were to take a vacation from your problems and therefore your certain perception, you would see, if you could see outside of your one-track kind of Capricorn way of being, you would see the greater expanse. And I think that you would be happier. I think that you will take advantage of this wonderful energy and the people that are obviously coming towards you with even more enthusiasm if you can just open up a little bit and take a vacation from the few really limiting past experiences, but also beliefs that have therefore been embedded in you, and just, you know, kind of like get that movie, watch it, kind of like do the Bill Murray, you know, do the Bob, and just drop that persona. Is it very difficult as an earth sign to do that? Yes. Is it very easy to suggest it as an air sign who does it every day? Geminis do that every other minute. Yes. Will it be as easy for you as it is for me? No. But the beauty of this process is that although it will be difficult for you to leave stuff behind so you can make room for all this new awesome stuff that's coming in, you will rehabilitate parts of yourself that have stayed wounded because you have held on to those things. So as you truly let go of those things and make empty space wherever that wound was festering, that now that empty space exists, whatever, you know, pain that was keeping that wound open and alive then starts to go away, because it's, you know, because you can either attack something at the symptom or at the root. But within the body, and, you know, this as above, so below, the holographic universe, the thing I'll talk about on my other channel, you can approach the problem from either end. So really, you know, understanding that you are allowed to walk away from your wounds. You do not have to hold on to them. They do not define you. They are not an integral part of your identity whatsoever. That's what Bob realizes, and that's what you guys are going to go through in so many ways in March. And it's exciting, and it's measured. You know, it's picking up speed slowly, the way you guys like to, and then all of a sudden, you know, you'll go with the speed of a fish. And it's exciting, and it's full of potential and full of promise. And you guys rarely slip, if ever. So I'm not worried about you, but it would be awesome to have that much more speed if we had less baggage to carry. I love you guys. I adore you guys. Seriously, I've been meaning to actually tell you, like I always talk about my brother, right? But it's so not fair, because my closest male friend, no, go back. My two closest male friends are also both Capricorns. My two closest both female friends, all growing up, both Capricorns. Like, my support system, Like at the end of the day, when all the chips are down and all the shit has hit the fan, the people who are like, yo, I got you, you got nothing to worry about, I got everything handled, they're all Capricorns. So like when I tell you that I love you, you save my life on a regular basis. The other day I had brunch here and my older brother came up, one of the Caps, and someone that was here, one of my guests was like, oh my God, like, was it really crazy? Like, because we all live in the same building, me and my brothers. And one of my guests was like, is it really crazy that like you have your brother like in the same building with you? I was like, no, it's amazing. Like he's done everything for me my whole life. Like if you could like write an older brother according to like, you know, what you would pick as like the perfect older brother, like the perfect mix of like protective and dynamic and interesting and all these things that you would want, you know, forward thinking, introducing you to new cool things, but being protective and being, you know, all of that, like the quintessential older brother, like that's what I had. That's what I still have, right? So to me, it's like I just feel like I got so lucky that my older brother is a Capricorn. I mean, he could have been anything, right? He could have been any sign, and I have no idea how I would be as a person if I didn't have so much love and protection like growing up. Like who would I be? You know, like I wouldn't be this strong or this confident or anything if I didn't have this like human just like standing right behind me, having my back my whole life, where I thought maybe like people were like afraid of me or intimidated by me, like never realizing that there was this like super strong person standing right behind me, just giving them the death stare, like don't, you know, it's just, it's a joy to have you in our lives. You are such a source of strength and constant open love. I mean, the way you guys love, like I love getting hugs from Capricorns. They're like, it's just such a joy. You bring so much to people's lives, and that sucks, right? Because things have been so hard for you. And it doesn't make sense, right? Because it's like, I do so much. Like, I do make other people's lives so much better. I do give so much love. Like, why, man? Why? Now you get some really good karmic payback, and you deserve it so much. I'm so excited for you. I love you guys so much. I will see you in April. Did I tell you? No, I didn't tell you yet. Okay, so I have another channel. It's called Amber Ramblings. Mid-month stuff we'll talk about there. Just stuff like that, questions maybe from the readings at the beginning of the month that have come up in the comments a lot. Sometimes it's like, oh, what did you wear? Where did you get that thing? The first video that's up on the new channel is about how to get over a breakup, or in my humble opinion, what will help you and what's going on neurally with you. And then about like the skincare products I use. And then so the next talk will be about the holographic universe and about what I use in my hair. And so we'll just take it like that. That channel is a much more unfiltered, rambling, raw look at what I do and how I think. So, it is not for those who just want the, you know, the straight reading, which I don't even think I do just the straight reading anymore. So there is that. And I will leave the link for that channel in the description below. And I will also leave my email address. So if you'd like to get in touch with me for a reading, you can do that. And I'll also leave my Instagram and my Snap. Instagram is like the best way to know where I am or what I'm doing at all times. So yeah. And then I will be in the Bay Area. I will be in San Francisco from the 1st to the 7th, and then in LA for the next and then from the 7th to the 20th, I'll be in LA. So if you would like a personal reading when I'm out there, let me know. If you're thinking to get people together, like there's a lot of people doing that actually, then let me know. And we will, every reading. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so that's all, folks. I can't wait to show my brother this wallpaper. He hasn't seen it yet. I'm so, like, curious to see what he's going to say. I'll see you guys in April.